Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to play the guitar solo from the classic Ozzy song I Don't Know, which of course had the great Randy Rhoads on lead guitar. Now when I went back to relearn this one recently, I discovered a few things that I had never noticed before, and I've never seen anyone tab it correctly either, so I'm really excited to share this one with you guys. Now if you're a fan of Randy's playing, I also have lessons here on my channel on how to play the solos from Crazy Train, Flying High Again, Mr. Crowley, both the main solo and the outro solo, Diary of a Madman, SATO, Steal Away the Night, and there's certainly going to be more to come, so make sure you hit that subscribe button to catch all my content as soon as it's available. Hitting that thumbs up does help my videos get a little bit more exposure. And then finally, if you've got any questions or comments, leave those down below and I'll attempt to answer the questions as time allows. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play the entire solo again for you, this time slowly and then at regular speed with the tabs on the screen. That way the more advanced players can get through this more quickly. Then after that, for everybody else, I'm going to break it down note by note. Let's go. Here's section 1. Slowly. So we're going to break it up into 4 boxes, and in the first, so we're simply bending up at the 18th fret of the B string. Second time, give it vibrato. It's up a full step. Then in the second box, so it's 15 on high E and then 18 on B, pull to 15. 17 of G up a full step. Then 15B, 15E, 18 on B, pull to 15. Think of that as 4 and 4, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in the third box, once again 4 and 4, which is 18G, 15B, 18G, pull to 15. Then the second half, 17G, pull to 15, 17D, pull to 15. Then in the final box, so on the G string it's 17 bend up a full step, and then 15 vibrato. Alright, let's tie all 4 boxes together. Play section 1 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. Okay, let's move on to section 2. All right, here is section 2. Slowly. That little at the end is very, very, very buried in the mix. We'll come to that in a minute. But we start on the high E string, 17, up a half a step, and then slowly descend. Better yet, you kind of hold it for a little bit before you descend. And then when you get to the bottom, you're going to pull off to 15. Hammer to 17, pull to 15, hammer to 17, pull to 15, hammer to 17, pull to 15. I honestly don't recommend counting it. Just go with what feels right. And if you do it a little more, a little extra, most people won't know the difference. And then you're going to slide down to 13 in vibrato. Now you'll notice that I pick 13 when I get there. You don't have to. You can just slide right down to it instead, like if you want. In fact, when you listen to Randy Rhoads solos, you will notice, and it's very well documented, that he would double and sometimes triple track his guitar solos. And when he did that, the tracks might be a little bit off from one another in some way. And we'll come back to that a little bit later in the lesson where there's some spots like that. But it's quite possible that one of the times he hit the note when he got there and the other time he just slid down there. But when I listen to the isolated guitar tracks that people post here on YouTube, I can hear that picked note when he gets there regardless. Either way, you should be fine. And then finally that little, that's open B followed by BE. Very, very buried in the mix when you listen to those isolated guitar tracks. You can just, or skip it. I usually just, but either way you should be fine whether you want to play it or not. All right, let's play section 2 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. Okay, let's move on to section 3. Here's section 3. All right, so what you're doing here is it's a pick tap. You're going to play 13 of B, bend it up about a quarter step, so just a little bit sharp, and then you're going to start picking or tapping with your pick on the 16th fret. You're going to hold, if you've never done a pick tap before, you want to hold your pick sideways, like this, when you start tapping, like that, okay? So again, 13 of B, bend up a quarter step, and then start tapping at the 16th fret. And then you're going to use your left hand to bend that 13th fret note up as you're still tapping the pick, and you bend it up 1.5 steps. Imagine this. Imagine going from here Now, I wouldn't recommend counting how many times I've tabbed that you do the pick tap. Just go with what feels right. Now, I did slow it down to make sure that I accurately captured how many times Randy did the pick tap, but don't count it. Just go with what feels right, or you're going to screw up. You're going to sound robotic. Then you slide down. All right, let me play section 3 one more time. Okay, let's move on to section 4. Here is section 4. We'll break it up into 2 boxes, and in the first we play. Now what we're doing is we're hitting open G and then hammering on to the 3rd fret and then just trilling it. But you're going to immediately take your vibrato bar, your whammy bar, and start dipping it down. It's almost like taking the G note down to D, like to, while you're doing the trill. And don't get too hung up on getting it to the exact point. Just dip the bar down while you're trilling. And don't count how many times you trill. Notice I didn't count it. Just go with what feels right. Let's do that first box one more time. Then in the second box we play. So what we're doing is, we've already got the bar bent down from the last box. You're going to hit open A and then bring it back up. And then you're going to hammer onto the 3rd fret, quickly slide to 15, bend up vibrato. Pull off to open A. It's kind of muddy in the mix, probably because of the doubling, but that's what's going on. All right, let's tie both boxes together and play section 4 one more time. Okay, let's move on to section 5. Here is section 5. Slowly. In the first box, we play. It's all palm muted. We start on the E string 15-13 and then on the A string 13-15. Then we've got 17 on A, 15, and then 15D, 17A. Notice the slide between 15 and 17 on A. You can really just ignore the slide because you're picking all those notes. But I hear the slide in there. Randy, he's sliding from one position to the other, so I thought I'd capture that. But don't get too hung up on it. Just pick all the notes. Let's play that first box slowly again. Everyone plays that part wrong because the bad tabs have been circulating for years. People typically play something like instead of. You'll see those tabs out there, but try both and you'll see what I'm talking about. Then in the second box, it's all palm muted again. 17 of D, followed by 15-15G, 17G. Then 17 of G, slide to 19, hit 19 again. 18 of B. Once again, you don't have to think about that slide. I'm just showing you where Randy was shifting from position to position. You can hear the slide in there even though he picks every note. Let's play that second box again a few times slowly. Okay, now I want to combine boxes 1 and 2, and I'm going to start with an upstroke, and then it's all alternate picking after that. Okay, down, up, etc. But I'm starting with an upstroke. Now, if that's uncomfortable and weird for you, then try starting with a downstroke, and then keep going with your alternate picking. I've said this before in many of my lessons, when you're doing an ascending or descending picking pattern and it feels awkward to you and you're starting with a downstroke, then try starting with an upstroke or vice versa, and you might find it easier for you. Then in the final box, we play. So we start on the B string, 18, 20, 20, and then 18 of E. And then on the E string, 21, pull to 20, 18. Add vibrato. My fingering might look weird there to you, but that's just because I'm remembering where my fingers were coming out of the second box. All right, now we're going to tie all 3 boxes together and play section 5 one more time slowly and then at normal speed. Okay, let's move on to section 6. Here is section 6. Now in that first box, we play. All right, so we're going to play 20 on B, pull off to 18, and then 20 on B. 18 of E, 20 of B, pull off to 18. Then we're going to bend up at the 20th fret of B string 1.5 steps and then back down. And then you're going to go quickly up and down 5 times. Oops, my finger hit a harmonic. Slide down. Okay, don't count it. Just go with what feels right when you're doing the wide bending. It's almost like a really wide vibrato, really. And then when you slide down, and this is very buried in the mix, you're pulling off to open B and then hitting B and G. It's so quick, it's so hard to hear unless you slow it down. Oh, and also, after I do that first bend at the 20th fret, before I do the quick fives, I normally hit it again. It sounds like Randy does that, but when you listen to the isolated tracks, you hear that he doesn't pick it that second time, but I like to pick it just to keep the bend going. And again, at the end, when we pull off to the B string and then G and B, like again. That's so buried in the mix, totally optional. I typically leave it out because no one hears it. Okay, let's play that first box again, one more time. Now in that second box, we play. So it's 19th fret of the G string, up 1.5 steps, 6 times. Notice how the first 3 times are slower, the second 3 times are faster. All right, let's tie both boxes together and play section 6 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. Okay, let's move on to section 7. Okay, section 7. Let me play that a little bit slower. Okay, now first of all, I want to call out that when you're playing this along with the original, if it sounds a little bit off, it's because when Randy did the double tracking, one of the tracks is slightly off from the other in terms of the notes. Some of the notes are concurrent with one another, they match, and in other cases they're maybe a fret off. That really kind of alters the flavor a little bit and adds a little bit of dissonance into the mix. So first let me show you the regular tracks, the main track and how to play it, and then the second track, the one that's a little bit off, I'll show you that one right after. Now we're going to break that up into 3 boxes, and in the first we simply, so it's open G, palm muted twice. Then in the second box, so it's all palm muted, we're going to play 11-10 B, 12-10 G twice. Then we'll shift things down and play 10-9 B, 11-9 G twice. So let's tie everything together in that second box. Then in the third box, so what we're going to do now is it's continuing with the palm muting, 9B, 8B, 10G, 8G. Then you shift that down 1 fret, so it's 8-7B, 9-7G. Down 1 more, 7-6B, 8-6G. Down 1 more, 6B, 5B. And then we're going to play 7 of G, slide down to 5 pluff to 0. It happens really quick because I'm playing slowly right now, right? A lot of times people will just go, and that's fine. That's totally fine. It goes by so quickly. All right, let's tie all 3 boxes together and play it one more time. Okay, now I'm going to show you what Randy did when he doubled it. Some of the notes were a little bit off, and it creates this dissonant effect that's pretty cool when it's blended in and he's playing it quickly. And I only noticed this when I listened to those isolated guitar tracks that are posted out there, and then it all started clicking like all these years why that part sounded so off and why it sounds so off when everyone else does it. But basically, it's in boxes 2 and 3 where it's a little bit different. So here's box 2 really slowly. Notice how it starts the same until the last 4 notes. And then he shifts down a fret. Okay. By shifting those two notes down, now you're playing this over one fret apart. That's going to create some really cool dissonance. Now here's the third box very slowly. All right, now that third box there, I know it sounds really weird, but this is what I came up with when I slowed down that isolated guitar track. I put it into my editing software, and then I experimented with different combinations of notes to come up with that. It feels really, really awkward to play it that way, so I wouldn't recommend trying to learn it, but I'm just calling out what I hear when I listen to the original isolated guitar track slowed down. This second doubling that's really weird, I don't even recommend that you try playing it or learning it. Just play it the other way that I showed you. And you'll be just fine. All right, let's move on to section 8, the final section. Okay, here's section 8. Okay, here's the first box, slowly. So it's 5 on G, bend up a full step, followed by 3B, 3E. 6 on B, pull off to 3, 6G, 3B. Let's play what we have so far in that first box, slowly. 6 on G, pull off to 5, 3, 5 on D. 5G, 3G. Now in the second box, we play slowly. So we ended the first box on the 3rd fret of G. You're holding that for a tiny bit, then you're hammering to 5, but then you're going to quickly slide up to 17 and get through that bend quick. Let's do this. We're going to play the first box, and then we're going to add that 5th fret G note, slide up to 17, bend up. Then we'll play 15 of high E, 18 on B, pull off to 15, 18 of G, 15 of B, 18 G, pull to 15, 17 of G, and then 17 of B, bend up and down a half a step, vibrato. Let's play that second box slowly. All right, let's tie both boxes together and play section 8 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. All right, let's wrap it up. That was my lesson on how to play the guitar solo from the classic Ozzy song, I Don't Know. If you found it helpful or informative, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And please hit that subscribe button to catch all my content as soon as it's available. And again, if you've got any questions or comments, leave those down below, and I'll attempt to answer the questions as time allows. Until next time, rock on.